Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings, and keep up the lessons. Are you ready? Let's get it. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, good evening. This is the second part of the video that I did earlier, and I just needed to finish up because I watched the video and I just, as I always do, to check my videos out for if I need to edit anything. And I realized that I wanted to get a little more into the tafsir about the subject matter in relation to Islam being perfected. And of course, this video is connected to the first video, which was speaking about if Islam is beneficial to our people or is Pan Africanism. And this subject matter is just so it's not like, again, I want to clear myself with the people. It's not an attack to Pan Africanism because it had its place. But today, as myself and other Muslims that know and follow, for the Muslims, I'm talking more for the Muslims, and that's another thing. No, this is more for us as Muslims because we have a position in our faith that we have to take. There has to be a position that we take. And some of us feel that, okay, if we're involved in other things, as long as that there's nothing that's showing that it's not permissible, then we can do so. But there is clarity about it, and that's what I'm bringing. So I have to bring this for my brothers, my sisters who may have a misunderstanding or may not have enough knowledge to know, or they're bringing something from somewhere else that is not coming with the clarity and the purity of that. We have to make stances when it comes to certain things we can't do and certain things we can do, certain things we can be involved in and certain things we can't be involved in. And as far as our deen, what it permits and what it doesn't permit, and due to the actions of the people that we might, especially if they're outside of our faith, and it's a group or it's a movement or something to that aspect, especially it deals with social connection, because we are the social. We are the people who create the social connection. We are human beings that make social life. So that when you enjoin yourself with the people who are not from the belief that you're bringing, they can influence you, and they can influence you to the point where you might leave your faith. That's the worst of it. That's the point. And in Islam, it's called bid'ah. It's called innovation, and the Prophet speaks against it for the groups of the Muslims that are in the fold of Islam. They're not outside the fold of Islam. To warn against them, to even us being with them and connecting and mixing and mingling and stuff like this. But it's okay, we're going to mix and mingle. And if you're amongst a person who practices bid'ah, as long as they don't enjoin you to it and call you to it, that you actually involve yourself in it. You understand? So this is the point. We have to take stances and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm with you on we doing good for our people and raising up and getting the rights that we're supposed to. I'm more with that. More with the human rights. I'm more with the rights that we deserve as well as any other humans that's been stripped away from us. But there's certain things I'm not going to do and certain things I can't involve myself into. Certain things I can't subscribe myself to because that is in contradiction to the Islamic way. Meaning I'm putting that first before my Islam and what it says and what it says not to do. Not to say I'm not making salat anymore or whatever when you take on these ideology of Pan-Africanism. I'm not saying that the Muslims are leaving off from their faith in that aspect or as far as their personal interaction with their Lord, going to the masjid and like this. But the understanding and the ideology, I'm enjoining myself with that. And we, in Islam, we negate certain things. That's part of our faith. We have to negate it. Even when it comes to the alternative life, sex, and different sexual preferences of the people and the human beings, we have to negate that. We can't say, okay, yeah, you good as long as you stay over there. I'm a heterosexual. I don't dwell in all those other types of things. But I understand this is your life and you was born like this. No, you wasn't born like this. No, the stuff that you're talking about, this came new. And one of the most social scientists or psychologists have flipped the script. Because they used to say it was a mental disorder. Now they say it's okay. You can be born with this and all this type of stuff. So they can bring in and usher in a new way that the people will accept eventually, which we are living in now. An abominable way. That from Lut and his people, he went through that. And Allah what? Destroyed it. And the same with us, as our people. Allah took away our greatness because we might have been doing things that we shouldn't do. And I can't pinpoint on every particular thing, but we probably weren't doing things that we were supposed to do in Africa. So these things happen to us. And it says, when a people, as far as the believers, the Muslims, that if they do not, and even with the Kafirs, with the non-Muslims, if they do not obey Allah, then He will debase you. Debasing, read that word, understand if you don't know it. But I'm sure most of you, we adults, we have knowledge. There's no one, from what I know, don't have this type of knowledge to know that word. But debasing meaning to take the people from a position where they was up in greatness and bring them down to the lowest level because of disobedience. It's because of the things we were involved in. And it's some shirk. Yeah, I know. You may know, and you may not know, but as a Muslim, you should know. Our people dwelled into shirk in Africa. Yeah, not just the Thors and the Zeuses and the mysticism of the European or the Indians with the Hinduism and the Buddhism from the Asians and all the different shirks that the people got into and joining partners with Allah. Shirk, polytheism. That's the main thing. And being a disbeliever, that's just like that. But when the Muslims started to take their guards down and compromise their faith, this happened even with Spain. It happened with the Moors. The Moors had greatness for almost 6 years in Spain. Another country, not a Muslim country. They made that a Muslim country for 6 years, 600 years, which is pretty much. Look at the greatness of Allah. Allah made them change Europe, a portion of Europe, into an Islamic environment. Allah's capable of doing anything. He can do that to His believers. Give His believers. Oh, He did it with Moses. He did it with Isa. Isa was able to make people, healthy again from leprosy and all these types of miracles that Allah bestowed upon him. Suleiman was able to, he had control of the jinns and animals, can communicate with them. These miracles. His military was very powerful, fought against many different offenders and enemies, and won because of Allah giving him that victory. Victory, tawfiq fi Allah, is in Allah, or with Allah, from Allah. Tawfiq, success. So if we want success, we have to obey Allah. But if we don't obey Allah, then debasement comes. So that's the point. So I'm not attacking what was done. It was done to try to bring the people out of that, unconscious state and being conditioned by the kuffar. I mean the tubab, as we call them. And, they basically took us away from our people and our heritage and our background and our identities. So this was an awakening at that time for those groups that started that. But we awake, and that knowledge is there and it's been given. So does this knowledge do the rest of what we need? No, Islam does the rest of what we need. Because some of that, what was going on, was awakening you to go back to Africa to learn your heritage. And then you find that, yes, your ancestors were Muslim. So what was this Islam? Because I had Christianity over here. This is what these people forced upon our people. I don't know this stuff. I was raised in a Roman Catholic family. I was raised in the Baptist. I was raised in this one, in different denominations of Christianity, not Islam. Only the groups that knew about Islam was the ones that came under the Bilalians and came up under Nation of Islam, so-called Islam, and all these groups that they just took pieces of Islam. They didn't even know Islam fully like that, like we know now. ourselves Muslims that know the Qur'an, the Qur'an and the Sunnah. The Mus'haf, the Arabic Mus'haf, not English translations only, Yusuf Ali and and then using the Bible with it, and like the Nation of Islam. And I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just speaking about what they do, what they've done. But Islam, as we came to, even Malcolm X, Malik al-Shabazz, aka Malik al-Shabazz, came to the realization of what Islam truly is when he went to Mecca and listened to his talk of what he was talking about. The blue-eyed so-called that they used to say in Nation of Islam back then, they don't say it now anymore. The blue-eyed devil. They was talking about the Tubab. That he was a devil. He was the only devil. Oh, black men with the guns that shot Malcolm X wasn't devils either. Right? Our people, we're angels. No, we're not. We're human beings. Every human being on this earth is a human being. Black, white, Arab, whatever. Human beings. We're not angels. We're not jinns. We can be devilish, and we can act like a submissive being to Allah, which is an angel, but we can never be fully submissive. That's our problem, because we give into desires, like Adam. We come from Adam. Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is that, and get to the point of the proofs. It speaks on that. It says, "This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion." This is what it said when I recited the Qur'an. And this is the tafsir that we're going into. This is indeed the biggest favor from Allah to his ummah. This is the biggest favor. Allah made this a favor, not just something, okay, I'm giving you this and you have a perfected faith. No, this was something very deep. For he has completed their religion for them, and they thus do not need any other religion, and that includes not the religion, way of life, because it's deen. It says deen, dinakum, okay, in the Arabic. That means way of life. But here's the translation English, they call it religion. Or any other prophet, okay, except Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi, because he's the seal of the prophet, he's the last of the prophets. That's it. We're Muslim. We're supposed to know this. This is why Allah made Muhammad the final prophet and sent him to all humans and jinn, not just to us. So we get into this Afrocentricity, and this is the point. This is the point. And please open up your minds, brothers and sisters. We get caught up into a tangent. African, black, and we forget about us being existent as a human being sometimes. I mean, and then we say we're the first, we're the best, and we don't even realize we might be getting like them. Don't even realize it. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to put ourselves back into our place as human beings of having the rights to be just like everybody else. To have as much as everybody else does or are able to reach to get in this life. Our human rights. That's all we really want. We shouldn't want to be better than them and over them and do what they did to us. But that sometimes they go into that. I've heard people in various videos, YouTube videos, other streams, yeah, we got to overrun them. We got to put them down. The Hebrew Israelites that be on the streets throughout the country of America, you've seen them. What do they say? They need to be put into slavery. What's stopping them from going to that mentality? They have an ideology too. And most of it is based on being black. They don't get into much of the African stuff because they get into some other stuff, but it all derives from nationalism. You know who had the first nationalism? Let's see if you know. His name is Iblis. That was his name then. Now, Shaitan, the accursed one, Allah cursed him because of his disobedience and because of his pride of being another nation of a being, a different being that he felt he was better than the one that Allah was creating, following behind all of them, which was Adam, to be also raised up in a high stature. He felt he was better. I'm made of fire. Smokeless fire. This is the elements that they say, and they bring narrations about, even hadith, about the jinn. Because Shaitan was a jinn. The Iblis was a jinn. The highest, one of the highest jinns, and more and handsome jinn at his time, until he became decrepit and accursed, and then Allah made him where he looks decrepit and evil and all that. But we don't know how he looks. People made all these different images over the years and called the devil this, that, with horns and Hollywood stuff, and whatever. But he was the first one to have racism, to have nationalism, and think he was better than somebody else. Because he led to that. Once he started thinking, oh, he's, I'm this, and I'm made of this, and he's made of that. He's different from me, but I'm better than him because the type of element I'm made of, he's only made of clay from the earth and water and all this stuff. And, you fashioned him out like that from the earth. What is he? He's nothing big. Whatever the statements that Shaitan made, not word for word. I'm not speaking word for word. But there were statements in that aspect that he felt he was better than Adam. And this is the fear. This is the danger of getting too much involved into who you are as a person, as a national, on a national level of a people, nation, or a race. That Allah in Islam, this is Islam. Again, this is the Islam. I'm not talking about outside. The people outside have a whole lot of different other things going on. Talking about the Muslim understanding what he should know in his deen. In your deen, you should understand. And not going to stepping out there only to help them to come to what you in. That's it. It's not for you to go and, yeah, I'm with you and let's come together and, interfaith too and all that type of stuff, mixing your faith. That's not from Islam. We don't need to mix our faith with no one's faith. We need to let them know that Islam is the way that he sent to us one more time. All those other faiths, abrogated. Learn that word. Abrogated, meaning there's no need for them now because Allah sent the last messenger. Just like Isa came after Musa as one of the major prophets after him. Even he came after his cousin, Yahya, which was for a quick minute because they killed Yahya. And Allah allowed that as a sign, but also as a curse on the people. But every one of those prophets that came, they came for their time and they did what they did, and Allah, either they died from death and old age and whatever, and like Allah took Isa and that was it. The last prophet is Muhammad. The last prophet of Allah, the last prophet of God is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the seal of the messengers and the prophets. And the last message is done. And a proof for that a little bit is his own sons. The Prophet Muhammad had 2 sons, and they did not live past their young ages of boys, young boys. Allah took both of them, because known through when prophets have children, especially their first children or the ones that are actually righteous from the jump, they become prophets as well. Like Ibrahim, he has 2 prophet sons, Ishaq and Ismail. Ismail is the oldest, and Ishaq is the second oldest. And from Ishaq was Bani Israel, was the children of Israel. And you had Yusuf or Joseph and some of the other, Benjamin, the 12 tribes of Israel. Yeah, mashallah. I understand this stuff. I've been there, done that, mashallah. Allah blessed me to get that so that I can use it to give it to people as well. It's not mine. It's not my knowledge. It's the knowledge He allowed to me to have. But some of you know this or know these things as Muslims, brothers, sisters. We know. If you don't know, then we have to keep on learning. So I'm trying to cut this video short. I apologize. So let me finish up real quick. And it says, therefore, the permissible is what He allows. The impermissible is what He prohibits. And that's where we put our foots down. That's where we don't compromise. That's where we don't say, oh, okay, this is how we're going to do, and it's okay. Islam over here, we'll put it and separate it over here in this platform, but in this platform we'll do Islam. No, Islam is throughout your life fully. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And you have to portray that to the people. Now, one of the people that was in the videos that we did, the stream that I was doing with the brothers and we was all in, said something to us. And the last part of what he was talking about our faith and giving props and giving credit due to the faith of Islam. And it was a sign for me that I seen it coming from a non-Muslim that admired our faith and said that, and was speaking as though you should know as Muslims that your faith is all you need. Because he was saying himself that he didn't have any need for what he'd been through and learned himself. He's not even Muslim. But we are Muslim, and we should know better. The law is what He legislates. And everything that He conveys is true, haqq, and the authentic, and does not contain lies or contradictions. Allah said, وَتَمَّتُ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صَدْقٌ وَأَدْلَ. And that says that, and the word of your Lord has been fulfilled in truth and in justice, meaning it is true in what it conveys and just in what it commands and forbids. When Allah completed the religion for Muslims, His favor became complete for them as well. Allah said, and I will read the English so I can go a little faster, because my Arabic, I'm still building it back up again. You see, we all, have errors, and we fall off, and we get slack on our deen. But the beauty of it is that you know what you have, and you return back to it because you know that's what it is that you need. Islam and your deen and Qur'an and your sunnah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion. Meaning, accept Islam for yourselves. We have. For it is the religion that Allah likes and which He chose for you. And it is that which He sent the best of honorable messengers and the most glorious of His books. Ibn Jarir recorded that Harun bin At-Tarah said that his father said when this ayah was revealed, that this day I have perfected your religion for you, was revealed during the great day of Hajj, the day of Arafat, the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah. Umar cried. The Prophet said, "What makes you cry?" He said, "What made me cry is that our religion is being perfected for us." He cried, and we should be crying. Because we're leaving off and don't even realize putting Islam to the side and taking on other things because we feel this is going to give us some benefit in this life. How do you forget? How do you forget? فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. And this is from Surah Al-Rahman. Which of the blessings of your Lord will you deny? Or will we deny? And I'm speaking for myself first. Everything I'm talking is for me, to remind me, and may the reminder benefit the hearers. For me. So at brothers and sisters, I'm pretty much finished. My nasiha is out. Let the truth be revealed. And peace and blessings. And keep up your lessons. Learn and get back to that which you know best. Don't lose yourself. And don't go astray, please. And this is my nasiha. This is my sincere advice. And I love you for Allah. I love us. Love all of you. Even those who are not Muslim, for as a humanity of a love that you may not be Muslim, but you are my brother from my people and my brother from the human race. So I want good for you as well. That's why when we say dawah means calling the people to correctness, is a sincere advice. It's a heartful advice. It's a advice that's backed by love because you want good for that person. I don't want bad for y'all. I don't want bad for myself. I don't want to be the only one that I'm, inshallah, receiving any good and blessings from Allah. I want to see my family, for my own blood, as well as my brothers and sisters in my faith and people in the world. Even the ones who harm people, that they change away from that which they are upon and become to be good people. There's nothing wrong with that. But accept it, people. Don't reject it, and don't be with an attitude, or don't feel some type of way because you're hearing the truth. I brought the proof. So accept the truth. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings be upon us all. Ameen. Thank you for listening.